right, man. So we got some playoff games before we start going to nitty gritty. I want to know, bro, who's your playoff teams right now? NFL and college.
In the NFL, I want to go Bills. Honestly,
You gonna go with Bills out of all that?
I've always been like a Josh Allen fan. I like his story. So
You know
yeah,
they're like historic for losing in the Super Bowl though. Like
yeah,
they did it
yeah,
5 years in a row.
yeah. We had one of the people who was on that team, John Fina. He was a lineman on that team that lost consecutively. He was one of
Oh
our
shit.
coaches for the past, not this year, but he was every year behind that. So yeah,
Would you guys ever give him crap about that? 'Cause
no,
I know I would, bro. I was a
no,
little shit talker growing up, so if I knew that, I'd be on him all the time.
no. We never said anything like that at all. I mean, we're kind of just too scared to. He's kind of like,
That's
he's like a lot bigger than us, and I don't know.
ooh.
We never like really
Don't
wanted
mess
to
with the
do that.
horns if you unless you
Mm,
want the fight.
yeah, not like that.
Awesome. And then college.
Um,
And I'm just saying, if you say Miami, you're out of here.
no, I'm not gonna say Miami. I don't know. I feel like just Oregon, honestly, obviously coming off that loss the first time, and
Yeah.
then this is their second time, and this is the game before the championship. I think they're gonna pull through. I think, yeah, that's who I'm gonna have. Honestly, I
Yeah.
think Oregon, obviously, getting that first loss to them, and then coming back semifinals. I think that's who I'm
Yeah.
gonna take.
You know a lot about coming back from adversity, and I want to get in that. But first question I have for you: who was the first person that put a football in your hands, man? And have you said thank you afterwards because they put you on this whole crazy journey?
Just giving it all to my pops. He was the first one. I always started when I was 4, just asking him, can we start throwing the ball around? I mean, at first I never played football. I was in soccer and t-ball and just everything like that. I always
Oh
played
man, we almost had you as a baseball player.
almost, and then I stopped liking it, but it was a little boring to me. But yeah,
You know, I played college baseball, and
yeah,
I freaking agree with you.
yeah, it's just a little boring for my taste. So it was always kind of soccer. Really, I was a soccer guy, and I was pretty good at it, I would say. But obviously, I was pretty young, can't really
Yeah,
go off of anything. So I started playing. I never played like organized or anything like that. I was with my like just in my dad like in my house, inside my house. We were just throwing the ball across the living room, and it turned out I could catch at 4 years old and throw the ball, and that's pretty much what started. And
yeah.
then I had a friend from soccer. He started flag football, and my dad pretty much just asked me like, "Do you want to come out?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Let's do it and see what happens." And stayed with it ever since.
Where did you start off as quarterback? What was your
No,
first position?
I was always like a receiver, corner, everything else
Yeah,
besides quarterback. I was never a quarterback. Not until I was about, I would say maybe 10 years old, 9 years
10 years.
old.
What was it
That's when.
like? What was it like the first time being a quarterback at a
Oh,
game? Because
I did not like it at all. What's it called? It kind of just was like we were just going into the seasons flag. It's flag football. I mean, I didn't play tackle until 11 year, so we were just in flag football, going up to the game, and then I thought I was gonna play receiver because I always have. And then when we got to the game, my coach just told me, "All right, you're playing quarterback today." And I was like, "All right."
did you ever practice before that or anything?
No, I mean, I never really had practice, like really QB training, anything like that. I kind of just did it, I
Yeah.
guess. I wouldn't honestly, I wouldn't say I was the greatest. I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't great, but I wouldn't say I wasn't bad. But
You
um,
were new at it. It's
I
first
was
time
new.
doing anything, so
I didn't really complain about it. I just did it. I don't know. I just kind
got
of
the job done.
yeah, and then I stayed with it, and it never changed my position.
Yeah. At what age did you start going to jet?
At Jet, I started when I was, I want to say 13, maybe. I
Oh shoot!
think.
So you're already a quarterback by the time you get to
Yeah,
jet, then, right?
I was at Jet after being QB. Yeah.
Were you a part of that flag football team they had for a little bit?
Yeah, the 7-on-7 team. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was with them. I was like one of the founding fathers. I was one of
Oh
the
shoot! Now
first.
you calling yourself one of the founding fathers. Love it,
That's what
bro.
we called ourselves. Yeah. I still have all the original jerseys when we
Yeah.
first had like little T-shirts. That all it just said was
Yeah.
Arizona Jets. That's all it was. It was just a T-shirt. Yeah, and I stuck with it, and that's kind of how I started. Because originally I didn't go to Jet until I got asked by Bobby to play on that team, and I was just like,
Yeah.
yeah, why not? Why wouldn't I? And then everybody on that team pretty much went to Jet. I was the only one who didn't. So I realized like, if I want to do this, and I realized like, how good these people are, I
Yeah.
wanted to join in with that. So I started going to Jet about, I'd say probably late, maybe like March, my like 7th grade year, I think, something like that.
What was that first workout like? Cause
Oh, I threw up.
dude, that's everyone.
Yeah,
Okay, so right down the street, like at the old one,
yeah,
there's probably still like a sign
yeah,
of sweat and throw up from mine.
yeah,
Cause my first day, bro.
yeah. It was bad.
Oh man, no one.
It
It's
was
hard.
bad.
What made you want to come back after that though?
Just under like the work, honestly, like how like obviously throwing up doesn't feel good, but then like I felt good after, like getting all this work and knowing, understanding like I got better today, and I wanted
Yeah.
to keep that up, and just all the workouts we did, and I was with like all those people, those my boys from that team. We all worked out together. It was never like single groups or like groups with other people. It was always that group. So
Yeah.
it was always just fun being in that group and going back with them, and yeah, and it's
Yeah.
the best part.
Just grinding with the boys.
Yeah,
Heck yeah. So now you start going to Jet. What are some of the things you learned at that young age? Because you're building the foundation at that point.
realize that like just I'm like it's like Noah Chanez. I always
Yeah.
worked out with him, and his work ethic is crazy. It's one of the like best work ethic I've ever seen, and kind of just want to be like a part of that. Like, he like the way he pushes himself, the way he like takes care of his body, and like just the way he lives his life. Like it's just
Yeah.
something that I always thought like, dang, like I want to do that. It's like something because I didn't. I would say. I wouldn't. I mean, I loved football. I took it serious, but like to the level that those people did, it wasn't and nearly. And so like just seeing this stuff, seeing how they carry themselves and the way they really grinded. I remember my first day. I was super tired. It was mid workout. I was trying to get water. Noah told me, "No, like you're not." Like I was in his group. So we were doing
Yeah.
like threes or fours with the whole team, and I was in Noah's like little small group. And I tried to go get water, and he told me no, like we're not like no water. And then we just kept working, and obviously I was dying. I needed that water,
Yeah.
but I kind of realized that like there's like different levels to it.
Is that when you know, like the on switch happened where you're just like, all
Yeah.
right, now I'm putting all my chips in football. I'm gonna be the quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say so. I mean, that's when I really started taking training seriously. Like always, football. I mean, I always loved it, take it serious. But like training and like taking care of my body and stuff like that, that was always something that like that was when I really realized like I needed to like there's stuff that you need to like prepare for, just
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah, I mean it's not the fun stuff. Like
Yeah,
it's not fun being on that little bike going back and forth like that.
no,
It
not
looks
at all.
easy, but
Yeah,
God, those are some
no,
tough days, man.
those aren't fun. It
Yeah.
was the plate pushes that got me that made me throw up.
Oh, those sucked,
Yeah.
man. Especially so Jose used to have it where you'd put people on top too.
Mhm.
So you're doing
Yeah,
that plus the weight.
it was bad.
First time I ever want to chop off my legs after
Yeah,
that,
well,
bro.
I was dying. I couldn't do that last set. I mean, I did it, but it took me like 5 minutes. I was one of
Yeah.
the last people to do it.
And it builds you mentally for things you
Yeah.
had coming up. So, you're at Jet, you're going to high school. You just told me you live all the way in Far Marana.
Yeah.
I coached there, so I would make the up and back trips. I know how bad
Mhm.
that is. But
Yeah.
what really made you want to go to South Point?
At the start, I didn't know what South Point was until eighth grade year, the middle of my eighth grade year. I literally never heard of it. I had no idea what it was until about winter, my eighth grade year. I always was with Jake, and Jake obviously Jake Rogers, his dad was the head coach. I mean, I kind of knew about it, but I've never went to a game. I never saw them. I didn't realize how good they were. And I finally went to a game. I think it was their semifinal game or not semifinals. It was a playoff game. I think it was semifinals against Desert Edge, and they won. And just seeing the way that like the different level of how South Point was compared to, I mean, I went to like the Battle of the Boot, the Marana games. I went to that, and yeah, like they looked good, but like really seeing South Point and like the way like it's different there, like the competition they play, everything about South Point is just different, and I just wanted to be a part of that. So that's when I really realized I was like, all right, I want to try to enroll here, and I got in, and that's where.
Yeah. So what was were your freshman year and sophomore year like? Because you made varsity junior year, correct?
Mhm.
So what were those first 2 years like?
Freshman year was probably honestly the funnest year I had. It was just like freshman football, just with all the guys, and I mean there wasn't really any I mean not saying there's not seriousness, but like there's not a level of playoffs because obviously there's no playoffs in freshman year, and just having fun. I mean, I never I never had that stress how I did my junior and senior year when it was funny varsity and
Yeah.
this is really competing for like titles and stuff like that. So I just kind of had fun. The sophomore year, it was all right. I think that's probably my worst year. Not saying like athletically wise, it's just I just had a lot of things going on, a lot of
Yeah.
adversity, and
Yeah, so that's one of the main things because I want to hear your journey, bro. So what was really going on through your sophomore year? Was it something like where you're wishing you were still with the big club because the freshman year is fun, but now you start seeing sophomores get moved up?
yeah.
Were you kind of saying like, why am I not getting moved up with them?
It was just kind of just. I mean, all my grades were just slipping, and I dealt with a lot of sickness. Like my immune system kind of just gave up in my sophomore
Yeah.
year, and I missed a lot of school and just a lot of I don't know. My grades were going bad, and some relationships I had were just going bad, and I don't know. I mean, I was pretty angry. I wouldn't say I was angry. I mean, seeing when Matt was a freshman,
Yeah.
he was already starting. I never really was like, oh, like damn, like maybe
Yeah.
I should think about leaving. I never was like that. I mean, I was a South Point guy. I cheered them on. Like I wanted them to win state and
Yeah.
on that run they had.
What did that really do? Because that can do what I've seen, especially being a coach and like a member of the community.
Mhm.
That is one or two things. It makes you better, makes you put your head down and work even harder,
Yeah,
or you quit and you go down a different path.
I think. I mean, that really like lit a spark in me. Hearing some of the people from last year telling me that like I wasn't gonna start. They're like, there's really no reason for me to be here. I'm just a backup. Just like this and that. Like that really pushed me to like lock in, and I put on like 20 pounds of muscle. Like I was kind of skinny. I'm gonna be honest. I was a little skinny guy, freshman sophomore year, and I started going to like I never had a QB trainer freshman year and like anything below that. And sophomore year, I started going to Throw It Deep, or it's not Throw It Deep anymore. It's just Evan's training, QB coach
Yeah.
Evan. So I started going to him, and he kind of just changed like my throwing motion, made it way quicker. Like everything in my feet work, timing, everything just got so much better with him. And I went to Jet like every day.
This is when you started training full time with Sam?
Yeah, I hit him up the off season, told him like January, like let's just like can I start getting like one on one, because I didn't want to deal with the group. Honestly, I
Yeah.
wanted one on one. I wanted like stuff that would help me instead of like, you know what I mean? Like instead of it being the group sessions where it's kind of just endurance and stuff like that, I wanted stuff that will help me for the next season. So I hit him up, and we made a plan. I would go to Jet at 6 a.m. before school.
Oh, you're one of those crazy dudes that did the 6 a.m.?
I did the 6 a.m.
Oh,
before
shoot,
school.
man. You crazy for that.
Yeah, they were bad. I remember the first day we did the 6 a.m. I also threw up.
Oh, shoot.
I've only thrown up 2 times because of workouts, and
First days each time?
2 times.
Yeah.
2 times were because of Jet. And yeah, so started going out there and really taking it serious. My speed training and throwing, everything like that. It just lit a fire in me to change the thing about me.
What else were you telling yourself? Because that scenario for high school and college is a little bit different because you might be able to transfer, see an end game at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But you already had a starter there already. Because I know he started his freshman year, was in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You had to go take someone's spot who's a year younger than you. What
Mhm.
were you telling yourself every day? Because I see it now, and it's crazy that this is high school now.
Yeah.
They see that, and they're like, all right, transfer portal. I'll go make an
Yeah.
Instagram post. Thank you, coaches.
Yeah.
Moving on.
I never just let it get down on me. All the people who saying like there's really no point for me being there, saying me I'm a backup, like all that stuff, I never let it like really get to me, like really like anything like that. I kind of just realized like, hey, I mean, yeah, he's good, but I felt I was better. I knew I was better. So, I mean, as a coach, are you going to not play the better person? And so, that's kind of how I just carried myself, that eventually, if it's, whatever God has in store for me, it'll go. And so I kind of just trusted in him, and obviously it happened. Week 3 was my first start against Centennial.
Yeah.
So,
Ooh, not an easy start.
no, not an easy start at all.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Before we get into that, because like I said, I want to make sure we hear this whole story.
Yes, sir.
It's junior year.
Yeah.
And when did they tell you that you weren't going to be the QB1?
They told me the Monday before the Moraine game.
Oh, shoot. So
that week 1, the Monday was the first one they told me.
What was that atmosphere like, knowing like you're competing against a guy right next to you? Like, did you feel nervous, or was it extra motivation?
I felt extra motivated. I never was nervous. I don't think I always felt like seeing, because he has a great arm. He is a great athlete. I'm going to give him that. Like, he is a great athlete. Just seeing the way that he can throw the ball and run, that always, made me push myself to always be better. And pretty much I never got down on myself, just stayed focused.
Yeah. Then it happens week 3.
Yeah.
What was it like finally getting into that game?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, what was the emotion like? I talked to RJ Gore. He was actually the first football guy I ever had.
Mhm.
And you know his story a little bit, his background.
Yeah.
He told me that first game was one of the craziest games he's ever had, emotional-wise, physical-wise. So how was your first game when you got the spot?
It was, I don't know. It was kind of just like, not that it was like I was nervous, but I was like thinking to myself, like, this is it. Like, I've been working for this since off season of last year. Like, this is really like my time to show them, because I kind of played with the chip on my shoulder. It was like, if they want to realize, I mean, we were 1-1 at that point, because I Shadow Ridge. That's when I earned my spot, because I went in later.
Yeah.
I mean, if they want to be 1-1, like, I'm gonna show them like this is like you made a mistake. Like, we could be 2-0 easy right now if I played, and that's kind of how I carried myself. I was like thinking to myself, like, all right, this is my game against this team. Obviously, Centennial was a good team, even though they had a bad record. Obviously, they won state, so
Yeah.
you don't just win state by accident. So like going into that game, just being so focused, watching film, like so much film on them, just being trying to be as most like prepared as possible. But just going into that game, just thinking like I was just like angry, you know. I was kind of just
Yeah.
angry every single game going into that. I was just like so angry because I obviously wanted to show them like this is
what you're missing.
yeah, like this is what you could have had.
You guys had a great season that year. You basically you were the starting guy the rest of the year, correct?
Yes, sir.
So when that season was over, were you thinking like, all right, it's gonna be my senior year. I'm pretty set up for the next year.
Yeah, I mean that's what it was. The only problem I had was I split time with him a lot. I started, but I would split time a lot because of the fact that he could move around.
Yeah.
Because I would say honestly, last year I was a little chunky. I drink a little too much protein shakes.
At least it's not soda.
Yeah. So just I mean, I honestly thought after that year, like, okay, like I just get ready for senior year. It's gonna be like, make it as best as possible. So, that's when I really like. That was I think really like after my junior year was really where I like locked in.
Locked in. What were some adjustments you made? And then this could be advice to like someone in your situation. Like, what changes did you make? Was it like going to bed at a certain time where you're eating? How did you change from your junior year to your senior year?
Just the way I ate. I would say I was not very good with eating. Like that's kind of the reason I was terrible with eating, and I was always not eating the right stuff that would fuel my body. Just the way I lost about 20 pounds. So I went from about like 210 to maybe about 185, around something like that, around that. Because I was just trying to like get. Obviously, if you're bigger, you're not gonna be as fast.
Yeah.
So, I was trying to just lose weight and put some muscle on so I can be prepared because I like seeing. So Caleb Williams, he was always like my idol, like going in like when he was in college, because I always like see the way he could move around and he could throw the ball. So I wanted to kind of be like him. So like I ran the ball one time my junior year, and that was the quarterfinal game, or no, the first round of playoffs. I only ran one time, so I wanted to really like show the coaches like, hey, like I'm kind of complete, like I wanted to be able to move around, make plays when I needed to instead of just staying in the pocket. And obviously I think I could throw the ball pretty well. So I wanted to really work on my speed and everything like that, and that's when I went to jet like almost every day. Like that was all
6
it was.
a.m.
All,
days,
yeah,
man.
all I told Sam was I wanted to work on stuff for my juking, stuff with acceleration and speed, everything. That's all we did was run form, everything about that. That's all I told him. I texted him was like, can we work on jukes and acceleration, stuff like that. That's all I wanted to work on was that, and just the weight training. Obviously, we did it for school and in the mornings, but I always wanted to do just everything about my speed and everything about that was at jet. And yeah.
So now this moving on, you're motivated than ever going into your senior year. At what point did you realize like, oh shoot, I'm really in the fringe of not starting now?
It was kind of like when I never really felt that I wasn't gonna start. Like
Yeah.
I thought there was really. I mean, he said like there's no spots that are guaranteed, but obviously, I mean, the coach is gonna say that. But I still thought, for sure, like okay,
Yeah,
like,
you finished off the year
yeah,
last year.
I finished the year and going into my senior year. I mean, this is seniority and everything like that, but it wasn't really until like probably the NAU 7-on-7 tournament in I think it was June when I realized like, hey, like something's not right here, and it's like not like I'm not gonna have that spot. I mean, I didn't know for sure, but I really noticed that like something's not right.
What was it? When he was starting more, or what was it?
It was during that 7-on-7 tournament. We were missing a lot of coaches because it was at NAU and people had stuff doing people had stuff to do, and it wasn't local. Obviously, we're in Tucson, and so I saw my head coach, or we were talking about like how we're gonna do the reps and we're gonna do game by game, and then my head coach, I saw him go up to Matt and just tell him like, hey, you're gonna go first.
Oh,
I was like, oh, all right.
Did anything happen before that? Did you have like a big performance or something?
I thought no. The week before that we were at U of A and we went to these quarterfinals with. I mean, there was like 30 teams there, so we had like 2 rounds and then the quarterfinals and then the semifinals. So we made it to the quarterfinals and I played almost. I didn't play the first game because we did rock paper scissors and I lost, and then I played the rest because I was hot, like I was red hot, and we went toe to toe with Liberty. We ended up losing by a touchdown, a couple points, and then we just kept winning. And so I thought, okay, like that's when I really felt like, all right, no chance that I don't start this year.
Yeah.
Like I felt like just felt great.
What point of year is this? Is this like the
This
summer?
was in the summer. This was about like
Yeah.
late May, and then it was like the next week or however time it was, we went to NAU, and I was like, okay, I mean, based on that performance, all right, let's just build on it. And then he told him he was going first, and I was like, all right, well, I mean,
Yeah.
all right, go ahead. And then so I played the second team, and then I did good. We lost though. It was a good team. It's Desert Mountain. They were a good 7-on-7 team. They won like every 7 teams they went to. And so then he went the next one, and then I asked our offensive coordinator. He wasn't an offensive coordinator. He was a receiver coach. And I asked him like, all right, so who's gonna go for playoffs? Like, how are we doing it? He was just like, all right, Matt's gonna go first. It wasn't his decision. I asked him like, I was like, and I was just wondering like, who decided that? Like, what decided that? And he just said that's what Coach Ryden said.
Oh shoot.
And I was like, all right, I mean, okay, just go ahead. And then I didn't play for that whole playoffs, and I really realized like, all right,
Oh,
something's not right. Like that's when I really realized like, all right, I might not be starting, and I kind of knew it. Honestly, I knew it. And then, so that was maybe Thursday. It was like a Thursday, and then coming back on Monday, we were at morning lift, and then he came up and told me, he was like, all right, let's talk after lift. And then so I went in, and I immediately knew he wasn't gonna tell me. Like I just knew that he was gonna tell me like you're gonna be the backup, and that's what he told me. So I was like,
So you had a high performance and nothing really happened. You just all of a sudden decided like, hey.
yeah. I mean, I just really thought that like after that, like all right, like this is gonna solidified it just because the way I felt I played so good.
Yeah. What did that really do to you mentally when that happened? Because as a player who's been in that situation before,
Yeah.
it broke me. Like so it's not nowhere close to what you did because your story is a lot crazier than mine. But
Yeah.
made varsity my freshman year, got dropped down my sophomore year.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the heck? I was already with the big team, and it broke me a little bit. What did it do to you?
I mean, just both times, the first thing I did, I mean, I didn't really argue with him. I just told him, okay, like, yeah, I kind of just told him, like, all right, if that's what you want, go ahead. And then that's kind of it. I was, obviously, I was angry. So, I mean, but, like, the thing was, I wasn't, like, I just wanted to cry. So the first thing I did, I went in the parking lot. I was, like, one of the only ones there because everybody else had left, and we were in the meeting. And first thing I did, I got in my car, and I just cried. I was just so upset. I wasn't even, like, I was just not mad. I was just so, like, upset. I was wondering, like, I spent this whole off season really just working hard, the QB training, jet, everything, getting the weights, and changing the way I eat, like everything like that. And I was just wondering, like, it was all for nothing because I just felt like I felt so ready for the season, and to be told that I wasn't gonna start, and I was just so like I was broken. How you said, I just went in my car and I cried and called my mom, and I mean that made it better. I always talk to my mom about stuff like that. She's my number one, and yeah, that's pretty much just how I did it.
What was your parents' reaction to it? Because the toughest phone call is letting them know something's going south.
Yeah, my mom, she was not happy at all. Yeah, she kind of wish she was there for me. Kind of just told me like it's gonna be okay, and obviously she didn't like our coaches after that. I wouldn't if I was in her position. And then my dad, he was angry. He was kind of just like. He was the one kind of motivating me the whole time, telling me like it's gonna be the same as last year. Just stay focused and keep doing what you do. Like it's gonna don't let it get down on you. And then I talked about honestly, I wanted to transfer. I did, but obviously in Arizona I didn't want to sit out 6 weeks my senior year, so I didn't.
Did anyone help you with that decision, or was that just mainly you?
I talked to like my QB trainer. I talked to Sam. I called all of them when it happened. And I was talking about it and how I just angry, and we talked about like this. I remember Sam just told me don't make any like decisions right now. Obviously because all my emotions were up and everything. He just told me don't make any decisions now. Just kind of think on it, pray on it, and I mean the more I did, this is kind of the more I wanted to go. Yeah. So I wasn't gonna go anywhere in Arizona. I wanted to go to Washington.
Yeah. So this almost happened. You almost
I was gonna move in with my uncle. I was gonna just go to the school in Washington, Bellevue. But then, so like it was dead set. It was dead set that I was gonna do that, and I thought for sure. I was like, it made me happy because I felt like I wanted to go somewhere where they believed in me. I didn't feel that at South Point at that moment. I didn't feel like they believed in me. I just felt like somebody they kind of just threw away, Yeah. So I went to what would have been my my last practice. It was like a Tuesday practice, and it was right before right before July 4th break. So I just went to that, and I was in a good mood. Like I was like ready to go.
Yeah,
I
you're thinking
was.
this is gonna be the last time I ever
Yeah,
at
I thought it
South
was gonna
Point.
be the last time I ever went, and I was just ready to go. So I was honestly just happy, like just kind of enjoying the last time. What it would have been my last like practice with all my friends, because it wasn't anything about them. Like it had nothing to do with my teammates.
Yeah.
It was just obviously my coaches that I was pretty angry with, and so I thought it was gonna be my last day, and I kind of just had like a really good time, honestly. Like just realizing like if you kind of just don't let it stress on you, like I had just like a really good time at practice with all my friends, and I performed good too. And then I kind of like when I was walking off the field, I kind of just like I don't know. I just had this like feeling. I was like maybe moving isn't a good idea. Because first of all, I didn't want to leave any of my friends. Because like, I always like my friendships. Like those are like my biggest things. Like I value those, and I didn't want to like kind of just throw it. I'm not saying throw it away, but kind of just like put it on pause because I'm gonna be moving across the country here.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of one of the main things. I was like thinking to myself like maybe I should just wait. Just let's maybe think about this for a second. I have a whole break. I'm not gonna be at football to just think about it. And then I kind of just started thinking to myself, and I told some of my closest friends, only like three of my closest friends, that I was gonna move to Washington. And no, obviously they didn't. I mean, not saying that they didn't want me to, but they understood like where I was in that situation in my life. And so, just playing on the game with them too, like late night, like just realizing like I'm gonna be missing this.
Yeah.
Just like to go play football for a couple months, and so kind of just woke up one morning and realized like I'm gonna stay. Like I told my dad, told my mom like I want to stay. Like I trust myself. I know like I know my abilities, and I know like it's gonna happen eventually. Kind of just have to stay patient. And they were like, all right, if you want to do that, like go ahead. Like no matter what I chose, they were gonna be supportive of it. They told me that. So I kind of just decided like, all right, I want to stay. Like this is like what I want to do. These are my brothers, and
Yeah.
kind of just same thing as last year. Same type of mindset like that when I finally get in, like to make it like they're gonna regret it, and they have no reason to ever take me back out.
Yeah.
So I kind of had that same mindset, and that's kind of the reason I stayed.
Yeah. And then what point? Because it was I want to say like week 7 where you started, right?
It was week 7. I went against Basha. I didn't start that game, but that's when I went in and kind of balled out.
Against the
then-
one at the time we were looking at the best team
Yeah.
in the state and one of the best teams in the country.
And yeah, they earned that title. They were good. I'll tell you that. They were good. They were fast, big, physical, everything you want a football team. They had it. They were good. They had depth, everything. They
Yeah.
were good.
And I want people to know you're taking over a program who a lot of people were saying was having their worst season in years.
Yes, sir.
What was going on in that locker room?
I mean, none of us were happy, but I mean, none of us were down. Like we understood that like things can really change. Like nothing is. I mean, we make the playoffs. Like who knows what happened? And
Yeah.
if we win state. I mean, like all that talk about us being the worst team goes away, and we kind of just like shut out the noise. We didn't ever like think about all the media and everything like that, saying that we're terrible, stuff like that. We kind of just stayed in what we were doing. Understood that like there's always a chance. I mean, you never know what could happen, and I mean, we just kept balling out. We never listened to any of that, and we just kept playing our game.
Yeah. So did you feel when the team started getting hot? It seemed like you started getting hot.
Yeah.
What were you telling your players? 'Cause at the point you're taking over, you're the leader now.
Yeah.
What were you telling your guys to change the page going into the playoffs?
I mean, I just told him tried telling him everything that's happened in the regular season is gone. Like nobody's gonna think about what happened in the regular season. Nobody's gonna think about the future. All we have is like right now. That's all we have is now. And just going with that mindset, understanding that like it's one game at a time. I mean, and just focus on one game. We focus on this game. We win that one. Then focus on the next one. But all we have to focus on is right now. It's all we have.
Yeah.
So just kind of changing our mindset, thinking like doesn't matter how many games we lost. We lost 5 games in the regular season. We went 5-5. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore. It's gone. Kind of just with that mindset, just understanding that like we can do something here.
Yeah.
And, like we saw the bracket, we understood like we have a chance to win this.
Even though because you guys were the last seed, 8 seed, right?
Yeah, we were number 8 seed, in the 18 playoffs. We saw the bracket, and then even though we lost to Pinnacle, we ended good. Like we started coming back. We didn't win that game, but just we had momentum, and we understood like we saw the bracket, and we were like, all right, like we have a chance to go win this if we really just come together. And then I say the first like lift back on that Monday, like just things changed. Like the way that
was the turning point.
the atmosphere in the room. I remember Van just talking about how like he didn't want to hear anybody talking during stretching lines, and everybody listened. Like we were just like laser focused. The atmosphere in the lift, like during lifting, and then during the practice after that, it was just crazy. Like the Wizards was just a completely different team. Like a completely different team.
Yeah, then what was it like that playoff game, man? Because this is when you start going on your run, and
Yeah.
I looked at your stats, and one of the most amazing things about you, you dealt with a 2-year battle,
Hmm.
which would make anyone your age in your situation just quit.
Yeah.
But now all of a sudden you're playing your best football against the toughest opponents. Tell us a little bit about that.
Um, just going to that Quinn Creek game, like just understanding, it's just like it's that same mindset that I mean, oh well, like they didn't start me till a lot later than I thought it would be because I didn't think I was gonna wait till week 7 or whatever week it was. I think it was week 7.
So
I
it lasted a little bit longer than you
yeah,
thought.
I thought it was gonna go way longer. I didn't think it was gonna be that late. I thought of maybe week 3, maybe week 4, but obviously that didn't happen. So I mean, just thinking about how long they waited, I was just really like the like the I don't know, the mentality I had
Yeah.
just was completely different, and I just like wanted to really show them like this is like this could have like the season could have been a lot different. Like we wouldn't have these like worst South Point team in history. Like we wouldn't have this if I played. You know,
Yeah.
it's that same thing. I just wanted to show them like this is what you could have had. It's that same mentality I had going from last year this year.
Yeah, and then you do it, man. You win the first game.
Yeah.
Then you face Pinnacle. What was that
Yeah.
like? Because, me and Mr. Morales talked about it. That's a tough opponent. You're
Yeah.
coming off a week, 2 weeks before that. So what were you guys telling each other? Because I want to get into, like, what was that locker room meeting right before you guys went out to that field?
I mean, we saw that we were playing them, and nobody was like, oh, like dang, we had to play them again. Like, I mean, we thought for sure like we had the film on them. We understood like what they try to run, and we just had it down. Like there's the way we were focused. Like the focus got even like better by week, and then just like understanding like we were that close. We were this close last time, and seeing all the stuff that I could have done better, and seeing like what they had for gaps and like open areas. Like we were just so confident going into that game. Like there was like never a doubt we had going into that game. And the pregame speeches, I can't remember like what it was. Some it's all a little bit of a blur.
Yeah.
I remember the main thing though when we were warming up and they're warming up like before the game, they like did this chant and it was F South Point.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then so like
Like
that was,
you didn't need more motivation already.
Yeah, I mean I started laughing when I heard that, and then it was mentioned. Van was always the one kind of hyped us up before the games, and it was mentioned. We were just ready. Like that just fired us up even more hearing that.
Yeah.
And like you could tell by the way they were kind of warming up. They thought it was gonna be the same thing as last time. Like they were gonna come out and beat us, and we were just laser focused compared to them. I could tell. I had a feeling just looking at them and seeing how we were just so ready.
Yeah. Was that one of your favorite games, sending them home after
Um,
basically them going in thinking they already won it?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, just like obviously they were talking a lot on media too.
Oh, nice.
They were talking a lot.
What were you guys saying after the game? It wasn't like Yuma Catholic versus Miranda with the scrap or something, was it?
No, it wasn't at all. I didn't say anything really. I just remember the first time we played them. In that first time when we lost, I was walking to the locker room with one of my friends. And there was some. I think it was a quarterback number 15. He just said to us like 4-hour drive home, and I was just like, bro, like I was
Just
kinda
wait,
I was
just
like,
wait.
no, I didn't say just wait. I was just like why do you have to do that? Like
Yeah.
and that was my career high. I threw like 287 yards that game, and I was like why you send that to me? Like I was just like that, and I just had a good game to him back. I mean, I didn't feel like the need to argue with him. I mean, I'm big on like if you lose, you have no reason to talk smack. Like there's really no like you lost. Like
Yeah.
you're and so I just remember after that when we were shaking hands, seeing him, and I was just like, kind of just smiled at him, kind of just like made eye contact and smiled at him. I think he knew too, because I mean, he was looking at me, and obviously he was pretty mad. And there was some lineman. I don't know. I think he was O lineman. He was talking mad smack. And he was one of the big. I didn't ever say anything to him.
Yeah.
But I remember like Van. He talked a lot. I remember first thing he got back on his thing. I mean, we were just so hyped after that game. Like we were just on top of the world after that game, blasting music in their locker room and making TikToks and stories and everything like that. We were just on top of the world. It was just a really good feeling to finally like send them home after what they did and all the smack they were talking, and
especially like, all the stuff going on in the media, people telling you like you arrived at that point.
Yeah.
And then you played the semifinals game, and actually your best game was that semifinals game. You threw for 309. I think it was 309 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? And I want to go into this way. What was the emotions like after the game? Because you just finished an incredible journey, playoff run, and not even go behind the politics that went with it. What were you thinking after that game?
After this Castile game,
Yeah, of the Castillo game.
um, I wasn't happy. I mean, I was bawling my eyes out because I really felt like, I mean, I really felt we could have won that game, and I put all that blame on me with the two fumbles I had, and obviously that one I had, and literally the biggest moment I messed it up, and that's all I thought about. That's kind of one of the things I think about every day. I think about it all the time. Is if I just if I just made the right decision or I didn't fumble those two balls, and like it would be a lot different.
Yeah,
That's just kind of what I think about a lot. Like I mean, yeah, the stat line, yeah, it's good, but there was just the way that like that team was. We were just so together, like
yeah,
the bonds we had, and knowing that it was over, and how like we could have played for at least one more week. I mean, obviously one more week because of the state championship game, but I mean, I was just never happy. Like I was
yeah,
not happy with what that like what I did, and I was pretty angry at myself, and just like kind of just like took it to God again too. Just like thinking, understand like he did that for like I'm not saying that he did that, but whatever he like whatever plan he has for me, like it's
yeah.
great, and um and I
Proverbs
just
3:5-6, brother.
yeah
That's
I have that yeah
that's my favorite. I got that one on my arm.
trust in the Lord.
Yep, trust in the Lord with all your heart. And
Lean not to understanding.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I know that one.
Yep, got it right here. Just in case if I ever need it, if I ever forget, I just look at my arm.
Yeah, I know that
But
one.
so you say that, and that's actually so. Do you know who Andy Lopez is?
I
All
don't
the
think
U of
so.
A baseball coach.
I don't think so. No.
And then so you said that, and the story I automatically go back to one of his talks.
Mhm.
I'm a lot like you, bro. I can remember a strikeout against South Point. I can remember
Yeah.
losing the state championships my freshman year,
Yeah.
and because you feel like it's a positive being angry.
Yeah.
But he told me this. He's like, in your career, how many moments do you think you've had in football from the time you're 4 years old?
A lot. A lot.
And the great thing about this is just one moment.
Mhm.
And then that's the reason why I wanted to bring you on the show, brother, because your story is just, I keep saying, it's so incredible.
Yeah.
And just to see you strive through adversity,
Mhm.
take a team 5-5, even though I said it, like, did not look like they were even going to win a playoff game.
Yeah.
You get the job done. It's something everyone needs to hear about.
Mhm.
And kind of ending this up a little bit, I want to know, what would you tell your freshman self going into South Point for the first time? Knowing what you know now, the battles you're going to have to go through,
Mhm.
what would you tell your freshman self walking into the South Point doors for the first time?
I would say don't take it for granted, and then just be patient, because obviously me going through all that stuff, like patience was the number one thing, just understanding and like everything I went through, like it's gonna suck. I'm gonna like I would tell him like it's gonna suck. Just stay on that grind. Just you have the tools. I don't even know. I would just tell him like just be patient and just like don't let it really get you down. Because just tell him like God has a plan for you, and whatever He has, it's gonna be great. And just trust Him. Because I feel like going into this year, I really wasn't. Like I didn't really. Not saying I didn't like believe in God, but I feel like I didn't really trust in Him as much. Like
Yeah.
I didn't put it all into Him. And then going into my senior year, like I really realized that like He's a big part of my life, and I needed Him and stuff like that. So I would just tell him like really like just treasure that bond, and get closer with Him and try to just talk to Him as much as possible and stuff like that. And then obviously just don't take it for granted, because obviously it goes by like that. It
Yeah.
goes by so quick. And I mean, I didn't believe it when people would tell me when the seniors, when I was a freshman, they said the same thing. I didn't believe it. I was like, we have 4 years of this. Like what's the rush?
Yeah.
I mean, now that it's over, like you realize like how quick it really is. And I would just tell them, just treasure every moment you have and just make the most of it. Just live life how you want to live it, and just don't let like coaches change your mindset and change how you feel about football, because I love football and I always will. Just don't let them ever change that opinion.
Yeah.
I'd say that.
That's incredible. And kind of our last question right here. Who made you this way, brother? Who are the people that help you turn into this human being that can just take adversity like no other?
My parents and then my grandparents. I think those were like the main ones. And then Sam, I had to give it all. Like I'll name them, like my mom, my dad, my grandpa, my grandma, Sam, and then my QB coach Evan. Like those were the main ones who always, like they always pushed me to be the greatest man, like greatest man I can possibly be. Not even with football, just being like in life, And then them always being there for me when I needed them, when things were going down, when I wasn't starting, everything like that. I think just them being there for me really really understood like I'm always gonna have people like that believing in me, and it really helped. Like it really made me want to always come back to practice and always like just work and just wait until it's finally my time. And when it finally was, like just seeing like the way like they, I mean, not saying that they were never like changed their opinion on me, but like just the way that like it made them so happy to see that I was happy.
Yeah.
Like that was just always just a one thing, and I give it all to them because those are like my number one role models, and my mom always being there for me. She's my number one. I would give it all to her, and she'd do the same thing for me. And just like always going to her after the games and everything like that. Just her being there for me always. She's always been my number one. She always will be. I think like she is who I would give it all to. She made me who I am.
That's awesome, man. And I also want to get into, what did your dad tell you when this was all said and done?
He kind of just talked about like the future. Just try not to dwell on it. I mean, he was always there for me too. He was the one who really helped me stay, because I think him just like helping me like just not kind of get down and always like inspiring me and stuff like that. Just the way that he is, like how strong he is, was always like inspiring to me. I think just like we kind of just talked about the future. We tried not to like dwell on it, and and told me just keep moving forward, and just told me like, he was the main one who really got me into like my religion and stuff like that. So we always talked about just give it all to God, and like whatever happens happens. Just trust in Him that He has a plan. So I would say more just like the future with Him.
That's awesome, man. Again, went from not starting to leading his team to the semifinals. What's next for you, brother?
I'm not sure yet. Football, obviously, I want to play it, but right now I'm kind of just over it. So I mean, after the Senior Bowl, I think I'm just gonna take a break from everything. I'm still gonna go to Jet. I think just playing football, I'm gonna take a break from it. I've played it for what, 13 years, something like that.
Yeah.
13 years, and I'm good to take a break on it for right now. I'm kind of just football, just not really what I think about right now. I just want to focus on school and then relationships, everything like that. So
be a kid now, man. You just went through, I call it, we'll say it's World War III. It probably felt like, and then you got the job done, man. And there's so like as a community part of this is so awesome seeing one of our own. So like how you said our Godfather Jet or Jet Arizona succeeding in the way you're doing, man.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Hey, well, thank you for being on, brother.
Yes, sir.
Can people watch the Senior Bowl?
I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure it's gonna be somewhere, but
all right, we'll try to update you guys on how he does. Thank you guys for another long day of podcasting. Appreciate you guys being on. Mr. Alvarez, thank you. Keep it up, brother, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace. Great job, brother.